there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition. It's a Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry it. Friday, we'll have JC, and then we'll have Scott Carter. We'll talk baseball, softball, lacrosse, you name it. We'll get it from Scott Carter for the mighty Gators. If you missed it last night, the Nuggets get clobbered. So that goes back to Game 7 in Denver, probably tomorrow, I would assume. And if you missed it, Scotty Scheffler was arrested this morning. JC, you're on the Take No More hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp.
Yeah, man. Very happy to be here, live from beautiful Ridgeland, Mississippi. And Bambi and I are here for you for the next 20 or so minutes. And I'm playing in a golf tournament. There's a lot of rain, but it's going to slow down, and I think we're going to be okay. And speaking of golf, that PGA tournament got started yesterday, and the pace that Xander Schauffele set for the rest of the field means guys are going to really have to play well because
the golf course ain't hard enough.
You don't think it's hard enough? Well,
no, I don't think it's hard enough, and the so-called experts say the fairways are too big, the holes are too short. Even though they got a couple of long holes, but so anyway, John on YouTube wants to know, what's the story, Scott? Is it mistaken identity? No, here's what happened. Okay, he was arrested this morning, but near the gates of Valhalla, there was a wreck with a fatal incident. One of the shuttle buses apparently hit a pedestrian, killed the pedestrian, so it was chaos. Well, he didn't know that. And I will tell you that he probably had a parking pass, or it says players, PGA Tour player, whatever. They give him a courtesy vehicle. He probably didn't know what was going on and was trying to avoid the traffic and get to the gates and go in. And the police officers didn't have any of it. So it's terrible about what happened. Obviously, someone being killed in that incident. But Scotty had nothing to do with that. He was just trying to get into the gates. You would think that they would have somebody with the PGA Tour letting the cops know that we need to get a lane over here to get the people in for the tournament. So anyway, that's what it was all about. It's really nothing, quite honestly.
He'll be on the tee box, and of course we feel bad about the tragedy there. I think this is the case where the police officer just kind of overreacted, perhaps, in the chaotic scene that was happening, and it's a bad place, wrong time for everybody, really. But is back to that tournament. A lot of guys didn't really light it up, but many, I think the winning score will be in the teens.
Like even par is probably, like, if the tournament ended today, even par is not going to make the cut, JC. That for a major is not good.
That's not good. Well, either way, we're going to watch it. And we're going to hope. I'm kind of rooting for Xander. He's never won a major, and he's been in second and third and fourth place for the bulk of his career. So it would be nice to see him. Speaking of golf, we got a freshman and a sophomore player for the Gators, Jack Turner and Parker Bell, and I'm going to wear this today at Annandale. This is my Swinging Gator shirt, and I'm going to wear that because those Fighting Gators are, third place finishers. I'm sure you talked about this yesterday, but third place finishers in the regional. Off they go to La Costa in Carlsbad, California. And JC Deacon has basically said we have a freshman and a sophomore that are responsible for getting us here. And then we have a senior named John Du Bois, who's probably going to have one of the best Gator golf careers of anybody who's played golf at the University of Florida, according to Coach Deacon. So we've got some.
But did you realize that he has not been in the starting lineup until this week?
I know, until this week. But he came through in the clutch. And basically he's a fifth-year guy who had to do it when he was called. And Deacon says part of his quote says he thinks that his results individually and with the team may be one of the best careers or greatest careers of any Florida Gator at this school. So that's good stuff. And you know what? As a defending champion, you've got to think they're going to have a lot of confidence, especially those two young players, and they're going to be a factor in this NCAA final.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, so if you missed it Wednesday, the Peachland Dental golf picks for the PGA Championship. JC has Rory, Jason Day, Colin Morikawa, and Scotty.
Yeah.
I have Brooks, Koepka, Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, and Hideki Matsuyama. I don't even know if Hideki showed up yesterday.
You took Xander. Okay.
Yes, I had Xander.
Cool.
Koepka, I think shot 4 or 5 under, but could have been about 9 if he made some putts. He missed so many short 10-footers for birdie.
Yeah.
I just think the course is way too damn easy. I mean, it's a joke if you ask me.
It's a joke. Is it really a joke? You think
well, I mean, the par fives especially are a joke. I mean, guys have tap-ins for birdies.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Well, I hear you. And, listen, 9 under, -6, -6. 3 guys in second at 6 under par. So, I see what you're saying. I mean, there's a lot of low scores. I don't know if the weather has anything to do with it other than the course conditions that you explained, but it does seem like these guys are having their way with it so far. We'll see how it goes.
Mark says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, wide fairways, short rough, soft greens equals low scores, not hard enough. I can't agree. I agree 100%. It's a damn major. I don't know why these people do this. Real quick, Comfort Tip Heating and Air is looking for an enthusiastic, motivated comfort specialist to join our team. $1,000 signing bonus after 90 days, ultimate benefits, and opportunity to grow with the winning team. Apply today at comforttemp.com. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. All right, so we got some texts. Let's get to these texts before we move on.
How about that lacrosse team, by the way? Final Four. I know you mentioned that, but
yeah, they play next week against Northwestern.
First Final Four in 12 years, QB.
I didn't even know they'd been to the Final Four.
2012.
This is Brett and Jax. Says, good morning. Any chance Billy is thinking about using McLean at receiver? That I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I haven't heard anything about that. This is from 941. Says, ask JC what kind of guns he is into. I see the Liberty safe behind him.
Well, my guest, I am the guest of a member at Annandale, and that's Rebel Safe, and he's got everything you need to go get some of these right here and other things. Turkeys are his specialty, and you want to talk about an outdoorsman and a hunter, you won't find one more involved and better than this guy I'm playing golf with up here at Triple R Farms. So we talked about it on Wednesday, how the birds were singing. I wish I could be outside, but there's a little drizzle going on. But we think we're going to get out there on the course today, tomorrow, and the next day. But thank you for asking that. I'm going to ask him what's in there. I'm sure there's a bunch of shotguns, everything else. You should see his farm, though. He's got an armory over there. It's an armory.
Yeah. This is from 941. He says, season's on the line today, and we're not pitching our number one in CAGs. This has been discussed, but I'm shocked with it all on the line. Yeah. We don't go to our best guy today. Want your and JC's thoughts.
Yeah.
Look, I here's what I say. We lost yesterday to Georgia. Georgia pitched a guy who I think has pitched 2 innings. I read somewhere all year long. So it's like they just threw the lineup's not very good. This baseball team's just not very good. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to make it, dude. I think they're going to.
No, they're not. They're not. Even if Cags pitched today and we won, somebody has to pitch tomorrow.
Yes, and I just don't think they're going to win 2 out of 3. And I also tell you, it's amazing, what Florida and LSU have gone through this year as being the 2 finalists last year. It's amazing what a difference a year makes. But what you do have to look forward to is Skylar Wallace and the softball team with a real chance to win a national championship as the 4th seed in the upcoming softball postseason. And if you want to go watch some exciting stuff, going on out there to the hole and watch it. before they head off to Oklahoma City because they're going to win this. They're going to win their regional. They're going to win their super regional at home, and off we go to Oklahoma City.
Yep. They first pitch is at noon. I think it's on TV if you can't get to the ballpark. They play the Lady Eagles from Florida Gulf Coast. Wes wants to know, does anyone know what time today the Arizona State kid Badger will announce where he's going? UF's in the running. I'm pretty much sure he's coming to Florida, from what I've been told.
A lot of guys coming to Florida, QB.
We're spending money, JC.
What did McClain get paid?
He's a preferred walk-on, so I don't know what he's getting paid.
We've mentioned his name a lot.
Somebody's paying for his academic classes.
There you go. Well, I mean, I think we've mentioned his name quite a bit for a guy that's not going to get a lot of money, but that's all right. Who cares?
Yeah, Reggie says the kid from Arizona State's already on campus.
There you go. Well, so good news. Good news.
Yeah. So we had success with the last Arizona State wideout. Hopefully this one
that is the truth
as well.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Yeah.
This is from the 863. It says, love to have seen Jack Nicholas, Arnold Palmer, Sammy Snead, I'm assuming, and play with the equipment of today's world. I mean, I agree. It's a different world.
No doubt. And the courses too. The courses are very different. If you look at some of those old golf films, QB, I mean, the sand traps don't even look like they were raked in many of the tournaments they played in. I mean, there's weeds growing in on the side of them. I mean, the courses today are near perfection, and you didn't have that back in the 70s. But I mean, you know, eras are different, and I just think I don't know if we've had more talent, young talent, on the PGA Tour in the past than we have today. It's unbelievable how talented these young players are today. You know, and Jack Knapp, I think his name is Jack Knapp. I'm not sure. He won the
Jake Knapp. He murders it.
Incredible talent, and he doesn't get a lot of publicity yet. But just the talent on the tour today, I don't know if it's ever been better. And I think without Koepka, you're not going to have a live guy close in this upcoming tournament, because look at John Rahm yesterday. I watched him literally hit the ball.
Give John Rahm credit. John Rahm was 4 over with about 6 holes to play, and he ended up at even par or -1.
True, no doubt. He came back, but for the first 3 hours of his round, it was hard to watch. This was the former #1 player in the world, and he's nowhere near it right now. And I think it's because he's lost something going to the LIV Tour. And that's just my personal take. I think most people might disagree with that.
Well, I equate it to because as I've said multiple times, the competitive juices come out when you play in the PGA Tour, when you play real golf. Like JC, when you play real golf, do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you play real golf, that will help your game.
Yes.
When you play real golf.
Whatever. All I can tell you there, Artie, is that these guys took the money and what is it that they really need from here on out? Is it majors? Okay, great. Well, go play in Singapore and then try playing in a major over here. To me, it doesn't. Well, when a live guy wins a major, when Cam Smith wins again, or when Brooks Koepka wins one, or whomever, I'll shut my mouth about this. But for right now, I think I'm right.
Yeah, Tony says Cam Smith. Cam did play well yesterday. Greg says, can the Gator baseball team borrow one of our softball pitchers? Look, I get it. Our lineup is not very good, people. It's not SEC caliber, in my opinion.
No, just write it off. Let's say they do win the next 2 out of 3 against Georgia. You really excited about them going to some regionals?
Well, that still doesn't put them in. They have to win games to stay above 500 once the season's over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's okay. You know what? It's just one of those years. But I was told when I was in St. Augustine last weekend that Cam Smith would rather go fishing on the Intercoastal than go around tour on the PGA Tour and play golf. They love him over there. He's a St. Augustine guy, and he fishes all day long. That's what he does. That's
Who are you
what
talking about?
Cam Smith.
Cam? Oh, yeah, Cam.
He's-
Yeah, he lives there in Ponte Vedra. Here's a good question from Danny on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I'm going to see if JC knows the answer to this. How is it that Cormani McLean got into UF if he isn't on a scholarship?
How is it? Well,
I will tell you how he got in.
thank you.
He's what they call a preferred walk-on. When you're a preferred walk-on,
there you go.
It means you have if you have good enough grades, you go in as a scholarship athlete. I don't know if I explained that well enough.
Well, yeah, and look, the reality is it doesn't matter how. The fact is he is, and let's hope he can contribute to this team. So
yeah, 31 Ember just woke up and said Scheffler got arrested this morning. Yeah, it's ridiculous what happened, but anyway, it'll get all figured out.
He'll be on the box when his tee time is announced. I'm pretty sure, but we can't forget about what happened. I mean, it was a tragedy.
Right. That's the hard part about it, and that's why I blame the PGA Championship folks in charge for the whole thing. They have ways to communicate with the players saying, hey, there has been a fatal accident. We're going to reroute you guys through this gate. It's their fault. So,
yeah.
All right. So this is from YouTube from Gators 1216, brought to you by Quality Plum. Says, sadly, I think Andy Jean is starting to remind me of Andre DeBose. A lot of height coming out of high school with a lot of home run talent, but couldn't get past leg injuries like hamstring injuries. I hope he gets healthy and can stay that way because we need him. Yeah, that's a good analogy. I agree with that. JC, give me a quick hockey update.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks, JT Miller scored with under a minute to go last night to push the Vancouver Canucks to a 3-2 lead over the Edmonton Oilers, who are one of the favorites in the West. The Avalanche won 2 nights ago against Dallas to continue their series going back to Denver. They're down 3-2. The Rangers eliminated Carolina in Raleigh last night, which was a surprise in my opinion. They won at 5-3. They will wait now for the Florida Panthers, who probably will eliminate Boston in Game 6. But that game is tonight in Boston, where the Panthers have won 2 games already in this series. Now, if Boston wins that game, then there will be a Game 7 down in Fort Lauderdale. But right now, it looks like the Rangers. I would guess the Panthers. You've got Dallas and Colorado fighting it out, and you've got Vancouver and Edmonton fighting it out, both at 3-2 apiece. So it's coming down to the nitty-gritty now, and we'll get to the Final Four in hockey soon. I was just shocked. The basketball thing is the hardest thing for me to figure out in this NBA. You've got the Denver Nuggets looking like they just had no interest whatsoever after beating Minnesota 3 times with a chance to finish them off, and they just looked god-awful. And it's just, Cleveland had 3 guys that didn't even play against the Celtics 2 nights ago or last night, whenever that was. And here it is, the season's on the line, and these 3 guys couldn't even show up. Mitchell, none of them. So, it's Boston's, I think it's Boston's to lose, and I think they will beat either the Knicks or the Pacers, and then they will play probably Denver, but I can't say what's going to happen in the basketball. It's hard to predict.
Yeah, well, the Celtics are the best team with Jaylen Brown and
Tatum.
Jason Tatum. I mean,
those 2
young kids. I mean, they're not young anymore, but they're phenomenal.
They're phenomenal, and they'll get that Porzingis guy probably back for the next series. He hurt his leg. He's a big, tall European that plays for them. Really adds a lot of depth to Boston's lineup, and he can score. So, yeah, the Celtics, I think, are the team to beat, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. So we'll see.
Everybody, concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. We got JC for a few more minutes, and then we'll have Scott Carter. We're going to talk to Scott about baseball, softball, lacrosse, a bunch of stuff here regarding the Gators.
I'm just fired up about this golf team. I know I'm in the minority here. Probably a lot of folks don't follow it. They'd rather talk about the baseball team. But between the golf and the softball, and now evidently the lacrosse, you got chances to win championships. Okay,
track's done very well. I will say this because I follow the golf team very closely. Played with some of those guys. Played with JC a lot. JC Deacon, that is. They're surprised. Look, it's great that they're going to defend their national title. Do I expect them to win it? No, because they lost too many studs off last year's team. But anything can happen.
It's golf.
But softball is a different story. I
Yeah.
expect them to be in OKC.
Oh no, they're going to be in OKC, but so will 7 other teams, and that's just the thing. He's been there 17 out of 18 times, or so, I don't know, some crazy number. I'd have to look that up, but those are the 3 programs that have a chance to win championships: your lacrosse, your baseball, and your lacrosse, golf, and your softball, and of course track. But I can't keep up with all those events. I don't understand track. That's too hard.
Track is damn good every year.
Yeah, damn good.
I saw this. I screenshot it.
Okay.
In the Southeastern Conference, in the last 5 years, home field records. What do you think? Who do you think has the best home field record? Or give me they've already included Texas and Oklahoma in this little poll. But who do you think the top 5 teams in the SEC, the new SEC, that have the best home field records the last 5 years?
I'd say Alabama and Georgia are in the top 2 or in the top 5.
Okay, Georgia's 28-1, they're first. Alabama's 31-2. Give me the other 3.
Okay, the other 3 I'm going to say are Mississippi.
Nope.
Okay. Well, if you're going to include Texas and Oklahoma, I'd say. Well, would I say Texas in the last 5 years?
Well, Texas is not. Texas is not.
Okay, so I've missed.
OU is 3rd at 27-3.
OU, okay. OU is 3rd.
So who do you think's 4? Who do you think's 4 and 5?
4 and 5 would be. I think the Gators are up there.
LSU's at 27-5 and 4th. The Mighty Gators are 24-6 in home games in the last 5 years. Think about that.
I can think of that because
that's why I think we start the year at 5-0.
Well, look, they got 4 out of 5. Is it 4 out of 5 games at home?
Yeah, I mean, we go to Mississippi State, but
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 home games to start the year is not a bad deal. And I mean that changes the whole narrative of the season if they get off to a fast start. And you are 100% right. The Miami game is probably the biggest game they've had here in 20 years. So it has to go well. It just does. And I'm not trying to put any undue pressure on him, but it's clear to me that this coach needs a big start. He does. He needs a big start.
Yeah. So I just thought, I mean, with 3 straight losing seasons, it's kind of we win games at home for the most part.
They do, yeah, and Tennessee hasn't won here, and I can't tell.
Tennessee is 24-11 at home games. They're ranked 10th in the league.
10th, wow. What's Ole Miss? I thought Mississippi.
Ole Miss is 5-6. They're 8th. They're 25-8.
Okay, all right.
Missouri's 25-9.
That's surprising. I didn't. Wow. Okay, I think they'll have a drop off this year for some reason. From last year. I mean, they won the Cotton Bowl last year, beat Ohio State. That was depleted, but still had a great season, probably the best in Missouri football history for that matter, last season. So I think it's going to be hard for them to repeat something like that going forward this year. But I could be wrong. Is their quarterback coming back? Is that guy coming back?
Missouri's?
Yeah. What's his name? Cook?
Brady
well,
Cook.
If he is coming back and Luther Burden is there, is Luther Burden still there?
Yes.
Well, then maybe they will be a factor again.
Greg says the Gators are 2.5 point dog to Miami, which surprises me.
It's a Ward. It's about Ward, Cam Ward.
Yeah,
period.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. Cam Ward is the only reason.
I will tell you. I will tell you this. Cam Ward's talented. Cam Ward has never played in an environment that he's going to roll in there on August 31st ever.
He didn't get any tough environments at Houston.
Where?
When he played, didn't he play at Houston?
He played at Incarnate Word, and then he played for the Wazoo Cougars.
I thought he played at Houston. Okay.
No. Who the hell does Houston play in the tough environment?
Well, they'll travel they'll play games like at Oklahoma and places like that.
No.
Okay.
Cam Ward has never played in an
then I'm confused. I'm confusing him with somebody else. All right. But he is, many people think, a Heisman Trophy candidate. So
Tony said you're thinking of Andre Ware.
I thought Andre Ware was great. And
He won the Heisman. He was pretty good, JC.
No, and I think not only was he great, but I think he's a very good analyst on television. I think he's quite good. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, Miami is thin on defense. I mean, we'll talk about this as we get closer. We can talk about it at any time, really. But I don't know. This is a big year for Mario. If Mario Cristobal has a sloppy year this year, he could be on a hot seat. Because he's, I think, underwhelmed at his alma mater, frankly, especially the way he gave away that Georgia Tech game last year. One of the worst losses in the history of college football. So I don't think they're overly thrilled with the way Mario's running that program. So it's a big year for him too. And then Florida State with Norvell bringing in DJ Uiagalelei. That he's such a different quarterback than Jordan Travis. So I don't know how Norvell and Florida State look. I have no idea.
Like I said, I have nothing against DJ. I've never thought he was very good. I didn't think he was very good at Clemson. I didn't think he was good at Oregon State. I just don't think he's very good.
I think the game's a little too fast for him. He reminds me a lot of Justin Fields, who doesn't run as fast, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think the game's too fast. I agree with you. I think a guy who's bounced around to 3 schools in 3 years has lots of uncertainty about him. But Florida State is happy with him, and that's who they're going to throw out there in their opener. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, I think they play
JC.
in Ireland. Their first game is in Ireland or someplace. England.
The semis,
Ireland.
yeah, the semis play Georgia Tech over there.
There you go. Okay.
All right, JC, get your rain gear.
I'm going to go with never guess.
Hopefully Rebel buys you some rain gear.
Oh, he's bought me everything else. It's incredible. But yeah, we'll have a good time, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Actually,
all right, tell Triple R we said hello.
We sure will. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. Take a quick time out. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. Talk a little bit about all stuff Gators. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security Systems. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union.
Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Our gridiron sponsors are UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker Sporting Goods. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
The Fisher House is here for the families and veterans that come here to the VA for serious treatment. And we're here to give them a home away from home.
It's really nice to meet you, man.
Well, welcome to our house.
Really blown away with the level of care, the level of service that they offer here. Some of it may be more routine, and some of it may be like, we gotta go now.
Yes.
Correct.
Because there's a ton to be said for coming through for people that chose a path, a little bit different path. That's why we're here today.
We're here to present these wonderful jerseys that Coach Billy Napier has so graciously given to the Fisher House that are going to be auctioned for the benefit of the house.
Anytime that we have a chance to give back to people who chose a career and a life of service and put their life at risk, right, to protect the simple things that we have access to each day, I think it's important that we do that. These jerseys are all for sale. They're on auction as we speak, right? And that goes all the way up until May 25th. I think this is an opportunity to not only purchase a pretty cool item, but also help the Fisher House at the same time.
We have 20 suites here at our house. That gives us the ability to serve between 1,200 and 1,500 families a year. It's for the serious treatment, the crisis in their life. So it's here that they find the comfort, find camaraderie with fellow guests. They're all going through the same thing at the same time. So they find that they're not alone here.
I would encourage anybody to do their homework on the Fisher House and get behind this cause.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. We're going to go to the Titan tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp, and it's the one and the only. Are you there, Scott?
Hey, Shane, what's going on? We cut out for a second. I'm here.
All right, you're there. We got a lot to talk about today, Scott. First off, let's talk lacrosse. I mean, what they're doing, they're on a run. Like, I mean, I don't follow lacrosse, but I'll be dang. They're tearing up some other teams, long winning streak, and playing for have a chance to play for a national title.
Yeah, they're not just beating people; they're crushing them, as they like to say. I mean, they're winning by an average, I think, of about 11 goals a game during this 20-game winning streak. And in the last week, they beat 3 of the traditionally power programs in North Carolina, Virginia, and of course yesterday at Maryland, a 14-time national champion in women's lacrosse. And to go up there and beat them like they did, I mean, that was impressive because I think, a lot of people just in the lacrosse world who really know about the sport, who follow it closely, the Gators haven't gotten that much respect this year because they were unseeded going into the NCAA tournament. They didn't earn one of the top 8 national seeds. And I think they've erased any of those doubts now, getting to the Final Four for the first time since 2012. And I remember, Shane, I was actually with them. That was when I first started here and went up to Stony Brook, New York, and they played Syracuse in the Final Four. And it went into overtime, and they had a goal taken away because of a stick violation, which was very controversial at the time. And they ended up losing by a point. But I was thinking, well, this is only the 3rd year of the program, so they're going to be back here regularly. And of course, they haven't been back since. They've always been right at the Elite 8 stage, but have never been able to really get over that hump. But they got over it big time at Maryland. And yeah, I mean, maybe this is their year. It will not surprise me at all based on what I've seen the last couple of weeks if they continue on this streak.
Keep losing Scott going in and out. Are you there, Scott?
Yeah, hey, Shane, I'm here.
Okay, seems like you're going in and out. I don't know if that's us or you, but all right, real quick. So tell us, when is the Final Four, where it's at? I know we play Northwestern. Who are the other 2 teams?
Well, Michigan and Syracuse. It's up in Cary, North Carolina. So a little different than it used to be. Used to be more up in the Northeast. So, but yeah, like I said, I think with the way they're playing, it won't surprise me if they keep shocking us. I mean, to win 20 in a row in anything is difficult. And they're really playing well. And, if you've seen any of these recent games, what stands out to me is how conditioned they are compared to some of these other teams. They're just faster and they have legs later in the game. So we'll see if that continues to be the case.
Dan has a question for you regarding the Florida-Georgia football game. What's the vibe at Florida now, knowing that the stadium has been approved? Once they do all that, don't you think they'll probably go home and home like they did a few years ago?
I would think so. I mean, that would be ideal like they did in 94, 95, and they gave fans a chance to see that game on campus, which is a rarity. But there's also been talk, maybe having a neutral site. Orlando certainly would love to have it down there. So we'll see. But I would like to see it personally just go to the campuses for those years that they can't play in Jacksonville. But not my decision, Shane. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I would like that too. I've never been to a game in Athens. I've been there to visit, but not to an
Yeah.
actual game. I'd like to go there for sure. All right, baseball loses yesterday up in Athens, by the way. Doesn't look great for postseason. I had a couple people text on the Titan Mart text line. Why are we not throwing CAGs today? What are we throwing today or tomorrow? We got to win 2 games. You think there's any chance these guys make postseason play?
I mean, to me, you got to win the next 2 and probably win 1 or 2 up in Hoover at the SEC tournament. If you're asking, I'm thinking at least a 3-game winning streak, which they've been having trouble doing against this level of competition. So there's always a chance, Shane, in baseball, as you know, but the indications are this team is what it is. It's a 500 team. They just don't have the pitching and consistent lineup around Caglione. And I'm already, I'm curious to see how Sully will reshape the roster, because I know he will after this season. But it's just one of those years, where unfortunately things didn't line up as they planned after the trip to Omaha last year. And the biggest thing that sticks out to me is just, you having a player like Caglione, unfortunately, probably not going to be in the NCAA tournament his final season. That's always disappointing. But of course, like I said, we'll see. They can surprise us, but it doesn't look good.
I was going to bring this up, and Christopher just asked a question on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Riley Kugel lands at Mississippi State. What happened at Kansas? Didn't he commit to Kansas a few months ago?
He did commit, and I don't know specifically what happened, Shane, but I know how this all works at this stage. It's probably a money thing. I mean, Riley Kugel he's kind of out there, as a lot of these players are. They're looking for the highest bidder right now. So I'm guessing Mississippi State's offer was a little better than Kansas, or either Kansas promised something that maybe they couldn't come up with. Who knows? There's a story there, I'm sure, and the story will involve dollar signs. That's about the clearest I could put it. But I don't think Riley Kugel is in any way unique in that. I think you could probably do a lot of these stories on guys as they look around, and that's just where we are in college sports right now. But yeah, he lands back in the SEC, a bit of a surprise. I know he did have some connection to Mississippi State on the recruiting trail, but it'll be interesting. I don't know off the top of my head if he'll be coming back to Joe Dome next year or not. I don't have the schedule in my memory yet, but maybe we'll see him sometime next season.
Yeah, sticking with basketball, someone asked earlier on the Titan Mart text line regarding Walter Clayton Jr. I guess he's impressed some folks in the G League combine or whatever they're doing. What are you hearing? Do you think he'll be back?
Well, I know there's still hope that he'll be back. I mean, I think that's the way that he entered this process, but you just never know until the guy's back. You just don't know. I mean, there's more opportunity for these guys now. There's more money being thrown at them now. So it all depends really what it comes down to. What does Walter Clayton want at the end of this process? So, but I do think as of now, they're still planning for him to be back, and he went into this leaving that option open. So we'll see. Again, it's just being a coach in college sports right now, Shane. It's just got to be tough, man. Not knowing your roster from month to month, it really has got to be difficult to manage.
No question about that. All right, let's talk a little softball. Softball cranks up today at noon at KSP. Really love this softball team. I know Chris does most of the covering. You're more the baseball guy. But what can you tell us? What do you like about this team, Scott?
Well, anytime you get hot like they have recently this time of year, that's a promising sign with the postseason starting. And I was just impressed with the way they put it all together at the SEC tournament. Won the sixth title in program history. And, you look at the way this team's built. I mean, it's got a great lineup with what he's put it together with Jocelyn Hendrickson, the catcher, and Falvey is at the top. Get on base, and Skylar Wallace is the kind of the star. And Skylar, she went into a little bit of a slump for a few weeks, and now she seems to be coming out of it. So they've just got a lot of pieces that seem to fit. And then, it's all about pitching at this time of year, Shane. And I think with Rothrock and Brown, and even you've seen Miller and Wooten a little bit later in the year to give them a little more depth at pitcher. So we'll see. I got to believe that Tim likes the way things are trending right now. They open up today against Florida Gulf Coast. The regional is today through Sunday at the softball stadium. I'll be surprised if they don't get out of that and then host the super regional. So I like what they're doing right now. I mean, it's always going to be tough when you get to Oklahoma City, especially with Texas, the number 1 seed. Oklahoma always a powerhouse as the number 2 seed. The Gators are 4th. But if all those teams get there and the Gators are playing like they have the last couple of weeks, they'll have a chance.
Live a healthier lifestyle with our bold, flavorful smoothies and our amazing food. Tropical smoothie. When you eat better, you feel better. Got Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. A few more minutes with him on the Titan Room Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tim. Scott, a little bit of transition in your department up there, sports information at Florida. Rick Hurtado, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Love Rick. We'll be moving on, I believe, to the Miami Dolphins. Any word on will they promote within or look elsewhere?
I don't know what they're going to do exactly yet. I think it's still early. Rick is going to be around, I think, through the end of the month and maybe a little bit in June. And like you said, he got a job back in NFL with the Dolphins. He came to Florida from the Broncos where he helped out there. So I know he's been wanting to get back to the NFL. He's from Miami. So nice move. Congrats to Rick. And I don't know. I think they'll probably just, fill some of the holes the next few weeks with it kind of slow in football, but hopefully have someone in place, obviously, by the time camp starts. And, so, I mean, it's just one of those SIDs, Shane. I mean, you know what they do. You've dealt with them. I mean, those jobs are putting out a lot of fires. You work behind the scenes a lot, but Rick did a good job, and, he'll be missed.
Yeah, for sure. Sticking with football, it looks like, and I don't know if it's been confirmed, but there's been rumors through all my listeners here saying the Arizona State kid, the wide receiver that's in the portal, has been already on campus. Is it confirmed, or is he going to announce today?
The rumor mill is that he was going to announce sometime this weekend after he came in. So we'll see. It's I think these kind of things, I'll see them when they happen because you just never know. These guys love to use social media to kind of pump up every little visit that they take or every offer they get. And until it's committed and signed, that's when I kind of get most interested. But, of course, I think that's a position of need for the Gators. So if they can land him and get him in as a veteran, I think it's a good sign. And obviously, they had pretty good luck with the last guy from out there, right? Ricky Pearsall?
Yeah, I'll say.
So I don't know if he'll match Ricky Pearsall's production, but it is a position of need. And I think Billy Napier to feel a lot better about the receiving unit if they can land him.
All right, from the athletic department, we know baseball will be going to the SEC tournament, softball's in postseason already. Final Four for lacrosse. Track, I can never keep up with track. What's left in the track season?
Well, they'll do regionals next weekend, and then they have a couple more weeks before nationals. And they hosted the SEC Outdoor Championships this past weekend, and the Gators, the men or women, didn't win. They had several individuals win. But if you follow the Gators track program closely, you don't get too concerned about that, because the way Mouse Holloway works the teams, he has them kind of tapering to be the best at the nationals. So I think both of those men and women should still be in the hunt for national top finishes at the NCAA. So that's still about 4 weeks away at Oregon, but regionals is next. And the other thing that's still going on, Shane, is men's golf. They advanced the NCAA championships, so they'll go out to the West Coast next week and see if they can repeat. I mean, that'd be huge if they can. But still what, five sports going on.
Yeah, I forgot about golf, and I talk to JC Deacon all the time. You're right about Mouse, because I've had him on the program. If they had like banners hanging in the O'Connell Center, they would probably have no SEC championship banners and multiple national titles, because he doesn't care about any of that stuff. As you mentioned, they gauge their season and work up to the national title. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
13 national championship rings, Shane.
That's it? Just 13?
13, man.
I can tell you one thing. Parker Valby's going to win the national title in all her events.
Man, I mean, I think she could outrace my first car that I had, man. She's unbelievable. She just keeps going and going.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It's bizarre. All right, Scott. There was one other. I know what I wanted to ask you. I had Trent Whittemore on. I know most college programs, this is kind of the football teams players' downtime. When are the Gators when are they reporting back? Do you know which day?
That is a good question. I don't know if they're back this week, because I think classes started in the last couple of days, I think.
Oh, they did.
But don't hold me to that. I'm bad on keeping the academic schedule, because that I just get in my little world. But it's very soon if it hasn't already happened, Shane.
I mean, Scott, do the players even go to class anymore? I'm just kidding. I always joke with all my buddies now, and it's true. Remember, you'd find out, you were in the media. Well, the starting wide receiver for School X is going to be suspended for his GPA or missing class. When's the last time you heard of an athlete in college sports be suspended for missing class or having a GPA issue?
Well, it's a great question, because I don't know if it's partly just because of the dynamics of what's important, and how they treat them now, but also I think I see these student athletes as being a little more serious and with more resources at their disposal toward education. But I don't know. You're right, Shane. You don't see those stories anymore, and used to they would be headlines. And I hope it's the latter, where they're just taking the school more seriously. But we'll see.
No, I'm just teasing, but it's true. But you're right. They do have so many resources now. It's crazy. But Scott, we appreciate your time. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, my man.
All right, Shane. Take care, buddy. See you soon.
Yep, that's Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. Does a tremendous job writing for the Gators. This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. This would be in 2020. Michael Jordan's autographed Air Nike Ones shoe from 1985 sells for a record $560,000 in an online auction. That's This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. How would you like to pay $560,000 for a pair of Jordans? I've never had a pair of Jordans. I had a pair of Jordan golf shoes about 6 months ago that I got through work, and they were killing my feet. I don't understand the whole Jordan dynamic thing about wearing the shoes. Everybody I talk to, they say they're not very comfortable. So maybe I've never had the right pair. So, but the kids seem to like them. The Gator football players, basketball players, they all get them. It's interesting because the only Jordan sports on campus are the basketball programs and football. Softball is Nike, baseball is Nike. None of those are Jordan. So kind of interesting. Joseph says on Facebook Live that Scotty's mugshot just hit the internet. Yeah, it's a shame what happened, but he'll be on the first tee today. Don't worry. Like I said, PGA Tour guys, they get these courtesy cars. They usually have a direct route. They usually have a tag on their car that gets them in these events. And unfortunate what happened with the fatal accident that he had nothing to do with. It's a shame, but I blame this on the PGA Tour. They should, or the law enforcement people should have notified everybody associated with Valhalla to let them know what had happened. Joseph says you probably actually tie your shoes, and I do not tie my shoes at all. Don't. I have to tie my golf shoes, but I'll have to see if they'll give me another pair of Jordans and see, but it's just not my thing. Hope you enjoyed today's program. I want to thank JC and Scott Carter for joining us on the Titanumore Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the PGA Championship. Hopefully softball takes care of business this weekend, and somehow baseball could pull off a miracle, be great as well. So that'll do it. Take care, folks. See you on Monday.